Hello everybody, it's to you, and welcome back to another Gator vlog. Today we'll be doing the Disney College Program Tag. This is basically going to be a list of 10 questions for Disney College Program cast members who are just going to be starting their program pretty soon. And because I was accepted to the program, that means that I can do this now. Yay! So there are going to be a list of 10 questions, basically asking things like, how'd you hear about the program, what's number one on your bucket list, and things like that. So that's basically what this video is going to be all about. We're going to be answering these questions and things like that, so that's going to be pretty exciting. So without further ado, let's go. The first question, how did you hear about the program? I honestly don't remember, it's been so long. So I don't remember if this was the first time that I heard about it or if I just knew about it for a long time, but my family had actually been in the Disney College program a couple years ago, and it looked like it was a really fun time, and it's just something that I was really interested in for the longest time. Like, I knew that at some point I wanted to work at Disney World, but back then, like, I was like 15 or so when my family was doing their time in the Disney College program. Like, I knew back then that when I go to college, I'm going to try to be in the Disney College program because it seems like it's going to be a really fun experience, getting to work at the Disney parks, while also going to college and things like that. So I don't remember exactly when I heard about it, but it's probably somewhere around that time. Next question is, how was the interview process? The interview process was weird. So they have a web-based interview and a phone-based interview. I don't know if they do the phone-based interview anymore. I've heard they don't, but it's possible that it might come back at some point in the future. But the first time that I got accepted was in 2019, but then in 2020 the term was canceled because of the park closures and things like that. So the web-based interview wasn't that bad. You basically want to keep in mind that you're trying to tell the recruiter why you're awesome and why you should work at the Disney College program. So it's one of those things where they'll have a bunch of questions like, are you a follower or a leader? And just basic things like that, and answer agree or strongly disagree or things like that. So you want to answer honestly, but you also want to just tell them why you're awesome and deserve to be in the program. The phone interview was a lot more nerve-wracking, though, because I do not like talking on the phone. I don't like talking to people if I can't see their face or don't know what they look like or things like that, so that was a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but I actually had two phone interviews. Usually only do one, but I had two, because the first time, the person who was trying to called me like a half hour late, and they basically only said that our systems are not working properly right now, so we're going to reschedule your interview for about a week or so. So the following week was when my real phone interview happened, and I don't remember exactly everything that happened during it, but I think it went pretty smoothly. So I don't remember exactly everything that happened during the phone interview, so I do apologize that I can't really go into too much detail with that. But I do think it went pretty well, considering the fact that I don't like talking on the phone. But the important thing to remember is that you need to be home when it's happening, because they will be able to know if you're in the car driving around during your phone interview. Do not do that, because if they find out that you're in a car or something like that, or just traveling in general during your phone interview, you're going to get rejected right then and there. So make sure you're home, make sure you're prepared and things like that. A strong thing of advice I'd recommend is to watch other people's phone interviews. Some people uploaded theirs before they were accepted and things like that, and I really, really wish that I recorded mine, but I didn't. So if phone interviews do happen in the future and you want to feel prepared, be sure to watch somebody else's phone interview so you know what to expect. The third question, where were you when you found out? I was in bed. So the past couple weeks leading up to hearing back on the Disney College program, I was a nervous wreck. I just could not sleep. So when I got my first acceptance in 2019, the email was sent around 7 o'clock a.m. or something like that. So like I was up until like 7, 8, 9 o'clock even, just waiting to hear back and not hearing anything. So in hindsight, I probably should have figured, because there were people who were coming into the program at the end of August for the summer advanced program. I think that's what it's called. And it's pretty obvious that I wouldn't hear back from them until after those people were already moving into Florida for their program. So I was told, the only thing I was told was that I wouldn't hear back later than August 20th. So, yeah, I heard back on the morning of August 13th, and I got my email around 10 o'clock a.m. So, I remember very vividly that before I got my email, I still just could not sleep. So, I was just watching a bunch of YouTube videos. Like, I was listening to Doki Doki Literature Club music. I was listening to this one anime song that's all like, Ichi ni san, arigato. Like, I was listening to stuff like that. But right before I got my email, I was watching a bunch of Gordon Ramsay videos of all things. So that was pretty amusing. And then as I was getting ready to put my phone away so I can actually try to fall asleep, I saw the email notification. And my first thought was it's probably something from Steam or Amazon or something like that. But I opened it up and I saw do not reply was the email thingy, and that's usually the Disney College Program email. So it was do not reply, congratulations, and I just had the biggest grin on my face because I knew exactly what that meant, and I was just super excited because I've been trying to get in the Disney College Program forever, and being accepted is just really exciting, especially after my first attempt to get into the program was canceled like a week before I was supposed to go. So, like, the interesting thing is that before I heard back from them, I had posted on Twitter something along the lines of, by this time next week, I'm going to know for sure if I'm going to be in the program. Because Disney College Program's Twitter had posted something along the lines of it being a 40th anniversary for them. So I quote retweeted that with my story. And then within the hour or so, I heard back that I was accepted, and like I was just freaking out, and that was a really exciting morning. We had pizza later that night to celebrate, and that was a lot of fun. The next role is a bit of a tricky one to answer right now. It's what is your role and preferred roles? I don't know what my role is currently right now, so we will know that on the vlog at some point. There's a helicopter in the distance. So I don't know what my role is currently right now. We will know in due time on the vlog at some point in the future, probably. But I do know that when I was first accepted into the Disney College Program, my role was going to be a custodial. If you don't know what that is, basically that's the person who cleans up the parks and things like that. So that probably would be my preferred role because, like, have you seen the scenes they use to clean stuff? It honestly just looks like a lot of fun. And the morning people get to like spray down the parks and things like that to get everything clean for the guests arriving. And it just looks like a lot of fun. But my absolute dream job with working at Disney has to be a ride operator. Because I know this is off limits for Disney College Program cast members. If you're going to be working in attractions, more often than not, you're going to be either a host or a hostess or something like that. But my dream job is to be the guy who pushes the button to turn on the roller coaster. That would be like my absolute dream. I don't think that's going to be an option for me right now, though, but that is something that I would love to see at some point. Right now, I'm thinking I'm going to be a custodial because that's what the job that I had before. But it's very possible that I'm going to have something else. As long as it's not involving merchandising, then I think I will be okay. Because I don't think I'll be able to handle a job involving being a cashier or something like that. I probably would once I get into the groove of things, but I get overwhelmed somewhat easily when I'm in an environment where I have to talk to a lot of people. But it is very possible that that could be my job anyway, and hopefully I'll be awesome at it. The next question is also a bit of a tricky one because I don't really know yet. It's how did you find your roommates and how many do you want? I want 0 roommates, and the nice thing for me is that the Disney College Program offers medical accommodations, and for those of you who don't know, I have autism, and one of my things is that I get very overwhelmed if I'm around too many people all day. So they do offer a medical accommodation to have a solo apartment where you're living by yourself and things like that. And I did get approved for that before. The thing was, though, that because I was living on my own, I would have to pay more rent than the average person per month, which I would have been fine with. But I'm going to go through that process again because I have to refill all my medical accommodation paperwork again. So hopefully I'll be able to get a solo apartment because I really do not want roommates. So that's just my personal preference. So hopefully that'll be able to work out. The next question is, what are you going to miss while in the program? It's a very cliche answer, but honestly, my family, because my family and I are very close and things like that. We play games, we watch movies, and all that fun stuff together. But probably more so than anything else is that I've lived in the same place as my baby niece ever since she was born. So it's going to feel really weird for that not to be the case anymore. Like I knew in the long term that that probably was going to happen and things like that, but it's still going to feel a little weird because she's about a year and a half old right now. So I'm definitely going to miss my baby niece and the rest of my family and things like that. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to miss. Another thing that I'm definitely going to miss is my video game collection. As you can see, I have a huge collection. This isn't even all of it. So I definitely know I won't be able to bring all of this with me. Because I have a collection of over 300 games. There is no way that I can fit all of that in an apartment that I'm only going to be living in for like half a year. So, yeah. I'm definitely going to miss my video game collection and things like that. I'm going to be bringing my Switch with me, definitely. I'm also trying to figure out what other games to bring with me because I'm probably also going to bring my Wii U because I'm still recording Super Paper Mario and I would like to record some other Wii games within the next year or so. So it's really a matter of figuring out what games are going to be a Let's Play during that time. Like, I'm probably not going to bring my PlayStations with me, even though I would love to have games like Spyro the Dragon or Toy Story 2 or Persona 3 or things like that with me. But it's a collection of 300 games, and I gotta leave a few of them behind. I can't bring them all with me, unfortunately. Next question is, what's your favorite Disney park? Hollywood Studios. I grew up with it being called Disney MGM Studios, and that's what it always will be to me, but if I start working at Disney World, I'm going to have to call it by its official name, so it's Disney's Hollywood Studios or whatever. But yeah, Hollywood Studios is my personal favorite theme park in Disney World. If we're talking about just in general, my favorite park is Disneyland Paris, because that is like Magic Kingdom times a billion. It is amazing. I love Disneyland Paris. It has the most roller coasters with loops and things like that. Space Mountain goes in a loop. They have an Indiana Jones ride that goes in a loop as well. And I just absolutely love Disneyland Paris. But if we're only talking about ones in Disney World, it has to be Hollywood Studios. So that's one that I absolutely love. I love Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. And I'm really excited to see the Toy Story Land and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That's going to be really fun. And I'm just really excited to be able to go back into the parks. And that leads me to the next question. What's the first thing you want to do when you get there? I do not know. You'd think that somebody who's been dreaming about going to the Disney College program for years would know what they want to do, but I honestly don't I because I went to Disney World so many times when I was a kid. But on the other side of that coin is the fact that it's been a couple years since I've been there. Last time I was there was in 2013, so there's been a lot of new rides that have opened since then. So do I want to go back to one of my favorite rides? Do I want to try a new one? Like, if I were to go back to an old ride, I want to go to Expedition Everest, but I also know that the first park I'm probably going to go to is Hollywood Studios. So I'm probably going to end up going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge because I love Star Wars and I really am excited to see the Rise of the Resistance attraction. That looks like a lot of fun. And I also haven't been on Toy Story Midway Mania. Like, I did go to the one in California, but I haven't been there since 2009. So I think it's had a couple updates since then, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. And what is number one on your bucket list? In terms of Disney parks, that has to be visiting every Disney park in the world. I've been to most of them, but I haven't been to Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo Disney Sea, and I've not been to Hong Kong or Shanghai Disneyland yet. So that's number one on my bucket list in terms of the long term, but when it comes to specifically my time in the Disney College program, it's probably going to be just have a single day where I go to every park, because that's something that I wanted to do when I was a kid, but just never happened. So my current mindset is that I would go to Animal Kingdom first to go to Expedition Everest, and then I'd take a bus over to Magic Kingdom, go on some of my favorite rides over there, take the monorail over to Epcot, and then end of the day going to Hollywood Studios so I can watch Fantasmic and just go home afterwards. So that's my number one on the bucket list in terms of things like that. And I'm also really wanting to go back to Mickey's Retreat because I went there when I was a very little kid, when my parents still worked at Disney World, and I don't remember much about it. All I remember was some kind of Easter event where there's like a Easter egg hunt for the kids and things like that, and that was a lot of fun. But aside from that, I don't really remember much about it. But it looks like a lot of fun, and it's only available to cast members, so And the final question, what is one thing you hope to take away from the program? A job. That's a very boring answer, but that's the biggest reason why I'm doing this. I want the job, because without going into too much detail, I have a terrible luck when it comes to job hunting. Most of the jobs I have had have been more so along the lines of things that could be considered self-employment things, because I've been a wedding officiant, I've been a math tutor, and just general things like that. I have terrible luck when it comes to job hunting, so I'm really hoping that this job helps me in the future, whenever I apply to future things, or just have like a long-term history with working at Disney World, because I'll be perfectly fine working at Disney World for the rest of my life, honestly. Like, even though my ultimate dream is to own my own video game studio and make like a bazillion video games and things like that, and I am working towards that. I also need to be realistic, and if that doesn't work out, then I would also just be fine working at Disney World for the rest of my life. That's everything I wanted to say, so thank you all so much for watching this video. Stay tuned to the channel for more exciting Gator vlogs like this. The next ones will either be like a video answering viewer questions, or we'll be getting started on the PAX West 2021 vlogs or something like that. Hopefully by then we'll have a better camera, because this one is terrible. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and next time, leave gear to you. Oh yeah. 6 intrepid friends led by Fred, the leader. Fred's Angels, Fred's Angels, How to sing the power of the sun with the ancient amulet they got in the attic, The amulet is green, It's probably an emerald. Fred, I'll laser hand you in the face! And there's also going to be things like Luigi's Mansion 3, Daemon X Machina, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's just going to be a really fun time all around. And what I'm really looking forward to with this convention in particular, we can play Link's Awakening while waiting in line for Link's Awakening. So I'm going to meet you guys over on the train that we're going to be taking to Seattle. It's going to be just a couple seconds for you, but it's going to be like a day for me. So without further ado, let's go.